All right. Slack it. Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Arachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, taught us the truth. Honors and salutations to the elect, to the men that died doing the work of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, because they shall arise first. To the men, women, and children that believe on the true name of the Father and the Son. So the Father's name is Yahweh, he exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he's the deliverer, because he come to deliver us to this captivity that we're in. My name is Mark Oliver and Gab and Yasharala, the Church of Philadelphia, Cameron, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Once again, come back at you with another one. And as the title says, a poor man's wisdom is despised, man. All right. A poor man's wisdom is despised because y'all go through history. All right. A lot of prophets, they weren't super wealthy. You know, like look at was the prophet Elijah, John the Baptist, Yahushua, you know, just to mention a few. All right. I believe Jeremiah, you know, these men, they just did what made them rich. They was rich in faith, you know, but they wasn't, so to speak, educated and I want to say like these like here in Babylon, like you got to go to these colleges and uh, Bible schools if you want to be a Bible scholar and all that, and you really don't learn nothing. You know, like when the high priest Rabbi Abba Bivens came on the scene, you know, to bring us back, to turn us back to you know, to Yahweh Shem Shai, and turn Yahweh Shem Shai back to us, you know. But and that wisdom is despised, man. You know, because the wisdom that a poor righteous man uses is not the wisdom that I guess you would say this world uses. They got to see things, you know. We go by faith, man. All right, and that's strange to people. But first scripts I want to bring out is and this is going in Ecclesiastes when the man, it was a poor man that helped him with this city, how to basically bring it back, and he was despised. Like they didn't give him no credit. Which, hey, man, you really don't want no credit here, man. You want the credit from Yahweh Shem Shai, by Shem Chakodash at the end of the day. You know, the hell with this place. But let's go here real fast. We're going to go to Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter, starting at the 16th verse. All right. Hold up. And even right now, like you see the wisdom of the poor men, starting our apostles, elders, and bishops, right? Look how much has changed. The dynamics of this place has changed since the truth really hit. All right. That was coming out of poor man's mouth. Not going to your top schools to deal with these damn Edomites, scholars and stuff like that. Their wisdom is garbage compared to the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which he lays on the poor, man. All right, you can't be no super rich guy, you know, and think you're going to get the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. A lot of dudes, when you get that money and everything, they sell out. They can't be humble, man. All right. This is about humbleness, man. But check it out. This is Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, go to verse 15, starting verse 15. Check it out. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 15. It says, now there was found in it a poor wise man. Matter of fact, I'll give you a little substance on this. Now this is when a poor man, he helped with the city, like I said. So check it out, Ecclesiastes 9, we're going to start at verse 10. And it says, whatever your hand finds to do. All right. And hold up. That's the headliner. But I'm going to just read it. We're going to start at 10 just to give you a little, you know. It says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither there goest. All right. So a wise man understands that. You know, you gotta once you are laid in that grave and everything, there's no more wisdom there. It's, everything is gone. You know, your memories wiped away. First of all, your spirit's not down there. It's just your flesh. You know, go back to the Most High that created you. All right, check it out. It says, "I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not for the swift, is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, uh, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all." All right. So you understand that, man. That's the deep saying. Time and chance happens to every man. All right. It's just no favoritism with the Lord. The Lord is not what they say, he's not a respecter of person. All right. All these men and everything, they think like, yo, just yesterday was in the sitting in the place, and it was a dude talking. He's real prideful, man. And he was, and yo, you sitting in the same building, you're in the same shoes as the people in there. All right, we're all poor, man. No, but he had the nerve to say, "I got more than you," and I'm this. I'm like, God damn, what makes? I said, your materialistic things don't make you nobody, man. It don't make you wise. It just makes you a follower of this world, man. When everything in this place is going to pass away, and wise men know that. All right, and wise men, like I said, the Lord gives the prophets the word, you know, and they bring it out. Just like, you know, we know this place is going to be destroyed, but you got the wise men to Edom. They're not talking like that. What they saying? This place is going to go on. They're trying to, think they're going to outsmart Yah Bashim Yahushai Bashim Chakodas. Not going to do it, man. But the poor man that speaketh, since they got the resources and the money and all that, they want to they want to silence his voice so it won't be heard, because they despise the words that comes out this man's mouth, out of these men's mouth, you know. And really, ultimately, they despise Yah Bashim Yahushai Bashim Chakodas. So check it out. It says, verse 12, it says, for man also knoweth not his time. See that? For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in a snare. So are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. This wisdom have I seen also under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. It says, there was a little, here it goes. It says, there was a little city. This we're getting to the point now. It says, there was a little city, verse 14, forgive me. Ecclesiastes 9:14, it says, there was a little city, a few men within it, and there came a great king against it. You see this? A great king came against the city, it says, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. All right, so let's get that word bulwarks. Now, mind, this guy just said a great king. All right, it's a city they talk about. And a great king came against it. And I'm trying to get the word. It's that bulwarks. All right, let's get that. Slack.
Strong's H, 4685. Matsod.
In the Hebrew.
Second entry. Metzodah.
So in the Hebrew, it's matazad. All right. It says seeds, works, bulwark, hunting, implement, net. So they was coming. It says fastness, stronghold. So they was coming for these people. But check this out. Check this out real fast. Going back, Ecclesiastes 9, and I'm going to read 14 again. It says, there was a little city, a few men within it, and there came a great king against it and besieged it and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man. You see that? There was found in it a poor wise man, and he, by his wisdom, delivered the city. Where did he get that wisdom from? Yah Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Arachakodas. And this king came in high and mighty, you know, got his army and stuff like that, and he thought that he was going to overtake him because they were smaller. All right, the Lord told us he doesn't deal with us because we were great in number. In the beginning, he said he didn't choose us because we were great in number. He chose us because we were few in number, man. All right. Check it out. It says, Let me read it again, verse 15. It says, now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no man remembered that same poor man. All right. And yo, that's how they do you, man. And look, like when they overthrew Jerusalem, you know, Babylon came and burned down our temples and everything, did all that. And like our wise men, they didn't remember none of them. They didn't want to because they like, yo, we took you down. We create the narrative now. All right. So whoever takes over the city, they the ones that create the narratives. Like right here in Babylon, who you think's controlling the narrative on a high level as far as hiding the history and everything. So now the poor man, we don't got the means and money to go research, like going across seas and digging up archives and things like Esau has. But the Lord bestows that wisdom upon you. And for that, they hate it. Even, like when the Apostle Gabar always brings it out, when the limousine pulled up on them when they was out there teaching, and they had the 12 tribes chart, and it was a rich man because he's in a limo, no suit, nice suit on, whatever. So he hopped down on him and asked him, where did they get this from? Where did they get that 12 tribe? Well, the 12 tribes signed from, And they said they spent billions with a B, billions of dollars so that we want to get that information, And who the information came to? The poor man. They already had it. They knew who we are. They know who we are, But now once it's coming out more and more, and it's a wildfire. So they really want to, they want to, how they say, they want to unalive us, man. A poor wise man is despised here in Babylon. All right. So it says, then said I, wisdom is better than strength. See that? Wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. That's right. His words ain't heard. Like, look at what we telling Babylon. America's going to be destroyed with thermonuclear fire. Them elites, they know that. So they're trembling in fear. But we go out here on the highways and hedges, and when you at your camps and everything, brothers out there teaching, and I'm talking about the brothers that got the doctrine that comes from the apostles of GMS, man. Because you're telling the 100% truth. So you out there teaching, and everybody walking past looking at us like we're fools. But the Lord used the foolishness of this world to make things wise, man. You talk about your garments because the garments represent sackcloth. Yeah, we're poor. This is not our kingdom. We're not supposed to thrive here. I want to say like on a level like Esau is, man. There's nothing wrong with having money and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the poor man's wisdom is despised, man, because they actually despise the poor. All right. But the Lord said, he said, I know, what's that in Revelation? He said, I know thy poverty, but thou art rich, So we're really not poor. We're just in a poor state right here. All right. And us being on the bottom, our enemies are going to try to take advantage of that. All right. Verse 16, back in Ecclesiastes 9:16, it says, then said our wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised and his words are not heard. But they really are heard by Esau because look, why would they hire Vocab Malone to try to deter like NFL players? The NFL hired Vocab Malone to talk to the players that was that started waking up to that they're Israelites and try to debunk everything that the apostles saying. That man is set up though. All right. He's good. He got a nice bag, But it says the words of a wise man are heard in quiet more than the cry of him that ruleth over among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but a sinner destroyeth much good. So let's go here, man. I'm gonna go to what's this one? Let's go ahead. 1 Corinthians. Matter of fact, no, we're gonna stay in Ecclesiastes. We're gonna go to verse 4, chapter 4. Ecclesiastes, chapter 4 and verse 13. Basically, pretty much saying the same thing. Ecclesiastes 4:13, it says, better is a poor and wise child than an old and foolish king. Better is a poor and wise child than an old and foolish king who will no more be admonished. All right. Check it out. It's good. I believe that's like chastised or reprimanded basically, if I'm saying the words correctly.
Strong's H 2094. Zahir.
It's a har. It says to admonish, watch. See that? To admonish, watch, teach, shine, send out light, be shining. To be taught, be admonished. Yeah. To teach, warn. All right. To shine, send out light. All right. So that's what the men of the Lord do. They're admonishing the people out here. All right. So check it out. Let's read it again. Ecclesiastes chapter 4. And who it's coming from? The poor men. It's from poor men getting out there on the highways and hedges, commanded as from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because we're commanded to hit the highways and hedges. The chief corner places, the marketplaces and all that. All right. So for men coming out there, coming on YouTube and everything, even change the dynamic of YouTube. Nowadays, you can't say certain things. Why? Because the truth is coming out. All right. You got to go to different sites now. They're changing. Everything is being changed because of the words of the men of the Lord. And they're trying to ban the Bible as well. Why is that? Because the poor men have got the knowledge to break this book down, what they don't have. But they got these top-notch Bible schools, just like Yahushua. Look at Yahushua. He didn't go to wasn't taught in synagogues. He went to the synagogues to teach them, to warn them and tell them and to get his men. But he was looked at as well. Oh, that's just a carpenter's son. Who is this guy? This knowledge we think he is, but at 12 years old, man, and he was speaking to they was marveling at the wisdom of young Yahushua. They couldn't even dig it. Like, where did he get this from? Who taught him? And that's what these damn devils are saying now. Where these guys get this information from? Who gave it to them? How do they know this? Well, guess what? It came from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because if you was a prophet in your past life, you're going to be one right here, and you're going to come back in the same knowledge that you knew back then, man. All right? So even if they try to put you to death or whatever, that knowledge never leaves, man. The words of the Lord last forever, man. All right? And he gave it to what? These poor people. Israelites. Starting with the elect. Okay? It says, read that again, Ecclesiastes 4:13. Better is a poor and wise child than an old foolish king who will no more be admonished. So you won't know, can't teach him nothing. You can't warn him about nothing because he thinks he knows everything. So it's better to be poor and wise, man. Humble. Like poor, like matter of fact, let's get the word poor in this text. But yeah, poor man. All right. But the word the poor man. All right, poor. Masakan, I think.
Strong's H 4542. Miss Kane.
It's Masakhan. All right. Poor Masakhan. But actually it says matter of fact, listen on that. But let's go here. 1 Corinthians. All right. Hold up. Why you think that everything that we're saying, they try to debunk it? Because they know it's the truth and it's coming out of poor men's mouths. And that's why the Lord does that, so you can despise it. Because the ones that's supposed to get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is the elect. That's who it's for. All right, here in these times. That's who's going to get it. Everybody ain't going to get it. Because if it was so, everybody would be running to like how they run to these stadiums to see football games and to these concerts, the stadiums to see these rich puppets perform their music and everything, to be lied to and heard. Everybody stores that to the clouds, man. But the rich, but the wise, the poor man speaks, nobody hears it. They forget about everything he says. Oh, he's just crazy, until his words come to fruition. All right. So let's go 1 Corinthians chapter Hey, Shalom, bro. Yahabashim Yashai, Bashim Chakodash Barakadah. My brother, my Lions Den, my brother. Shalom, bro. Let's go to First Corinthians 1 and 25. All right. All right, so First Corinthians 1 and let's start at verse 25. All right, let's start at 25. First Corinthians 1 and 25, it says, because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than man, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. For ye seeing your calling, brethren, hold up, I think I jumped the gun. No, I'm right. Forgive me. It says, for ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, nor many mighty, nor many noble are called. So wise men after the flesh. So wise men after what Esau is teaching. You know, you're wise in your own ways. You know, not many of those men are called into this word, man. That's why I said, for ye see your calling. All right. When you come into this truth as a wise man, you gotta know your position, know your place, man. All right. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. All right. And just, you know, always speak the truth. It's going to be despised. The truth is despised, you know, and the truth comes out of poor men's mouths. Because everybody want to be rich, famous. This thing is not about being rich and famous, man. It's about telling the truth, man. Serving Yahweh Shem Yahushua, getting the hell up out of here. All right. And the Lord will raise you up. All right. All that hate that you get and everything, keep getting it. Because you're in good company, man. All the prophets were hated, you know. And check it out. The matter of fact, it was hated so much they put him to death. Okay. It says, verse 27, it says, but the Most High have chosen, see this? The Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And yo, it looks foolish for you to see men on the corner speaking the truth. You know what they call, oh, look at these. And yo, like Drewski made a mockery out of it. You know, but if it was something pertaining to this world, he wouldn't even joke about that. You know, that he wouldn't joke about them small hats. You know why? Because they're the rich. They control this place. He wouldn't dare to go out there and do no stuff like that. You know, because how they say to be off with his head from them people. But he despises the words of the poor, man. Why? Because he wants to be like his daddy Esau. That's why he got that dumbass blonde hair, man. You know, so these words, and these are not our words. These are words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that was given to holy men, man. All right. So it's not just that they hate the poor man's words. They hate Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, they hate his words because he gave them to the poor. Check it out. It says, but the Most High had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and the Most High had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And yeah, man, that's why when he gives those men those spiritual powers and everything, what you already got through your faith, man. The Lord just has to activate it. All right. And just being patient and everything, that's going to be like a fool's thing. A man, you're going to see man doing miracles, you know? And Esau, through his technology, right? That's how he tried to, because he got the money and everything like that. That's why the Lord's going to use, like a regular man, you see him healing people. Why? Because he had that faith the whole time. The elect, you know, they're going to get those powers, man. All right. I don't care. Like, and it's better to be poor for real, man. Like the Lord says, it's better to be in the house of mourning than in the house of mirth. You know, because you be in that house of mirth, you forget about everything. You get drunken with that party spirit and shit. You know, you got to stay humble in this thing, man. You know, and the more humble you be, the greater you are. All right. You know, it's like the Lord said, the greater thou art, the more humble thou should be. All right. Let's read that again. Verse 27, 1 Corinthians 1 and 27, it says, but the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And everybody that ever tried to come up against the doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, starting with the apostles and others, great millstone, they got confounded, man. They got confounded. through those men, because they thought, oh, these just bums on the corner talking. You know, they're just the average niggas. Those men are rulers, man. You know, the elect, they're rulers, they're kings, they're princes. You know, they're governors. All right, they're inventors. All right, and right here we're in captivity, so that's why they look down on you. Just like that movie, what, Trading Places. Now Eddie Murphy, you know, he played, you know, at the bum. Then he got rich and everything. But when he was the bum, wasn't nobody paying him no mind. When he got that money, like, oh, you're so important, and this, that. That's when everybody want to kiss your ass. You know, that's why the Lord's going to give that power to his men, the elect, man. All right? And they deserve it for being humble. Just ain't taking all the hell that they got to catch, man. And standing stiff with his word. And that's wisdom, man. All right? But it says, verse 28, no, Salakia. It says, and the Most High had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, and base things of the world to things which are despised. It said, and base things of the world and things which are despised. You see that? It's the point. And things which are despised, and we're despised. That's why he uses us. All right. Have the Most High chosen? Yeah. Have the Most High chosen? Yeah. And things which are not to bring to naught things that slack it, things that are. All right. It says that no flesh should glory in his presence. All right. No flesh should glory because you know something. All right. You better be humble when you get the wisdom, man. All right. Like my man Mark Way. Who wants the wisdom? That dude cracks me up. But yeah, when you get this wisdom, man, you ain't supposed to be all prideful, man. I told you, wisdom puffeth up. I've seen a lot of men, you know, they took that bag, they had that wisdom. And actually, well, you had the wisdom, but you didn't use it, you know? So the Lord took it away from you. All right. It says that no flesh should glory in his presence, but of him are ye in Hamashiach Yahushua, who of the Most High is made unto us wisdom. All right, the Lord gave us this wisdom, and righteousness and sanctification and redemption, that according as it is written, he that glorieth, let him glory in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem HaRachakadash. You know, you don't glory in all your, like, you know this, you know that. Oh, I'm the greatest just on this. Nah, man. Humble, man. Humble. All right. And that's, yo, I'm telling you, you gotta say, like, the man of the Lord is greatly despised because the information that comes out. You know, when you're living in a dark place in your light, you know, like I was walking down the block coming home from work, and I seen this ball, and it said glow in the dark, and I'm like, oh shit. First thought that came to my mind, I was like, yo, the elect glow in the dark. You know, they're that light in a dark place. And this place is a dark place. So really the elect is glowing in this dark place right here, man. You know, and what's that wisdom? Wisdom, man. Wisdom makes your face to shine, man. All right. This is Sirach chapter 13, Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, and we're going to start at verse 20. All right. This is another one. Sirach chapter 13 and 20 says, as the proud hate humility, so doeth the rich abhor the poor. All right. Because a poor man, he gets humiliated constantly, daily. And why do they hate? Why do the proud hate? Why do the proud hate humility? Because they're proud. They can't take correction, nothing. Look at DJ Trump, Nero. Look at him. He hates humility. That dude is a proud MF, yo. All right? His time is coming. All right, it says, as the proud hate humility, so doeth the rich abhor the poor. All right, it says, a rich man beginning to fall is held up. Salakia. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust away by his friends. God damn. You know, so it's like, damn, you don't get no break. You know, you're hated. See, and Yahweh Shah, he was loved and hated, man. He was loved by the ones that it was supposed to get the knowledge, supposed to get the message. But the ones that couldn't get it, they hated him, man. They hated him because he spoke in parables and all that. And and there was simple stuff he was saying, And he broke it down to to his apostles and disciples at the time. He broke it down to them so that they would understand. And then when they go out to speak, they spoke in parables, man. And they were hated for when they taught in the name of Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You know, that name, that's the beginning of wisdom, fearing those names. You know, a poor man do that. And a poor man, what else you got to lose, man? Calling on the Lord. What do you have to lose? Nothing. You know, you got everything to gain if you're the elect. You don't got nothing to lose, but everything to gain. All right. It says, forgive me. Verse 22, Ecclesiastes, Sirach, chapter 13, and where we at? 22. It says, when the rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers, man. He has many helpers to help him back up. All right. That's why people don't hate the words of a rich man, because they want to appease him, because they think they're going to get something out of it. They looking at the poor man, who do you think he got some knowledge in it, but he really breaking it down to you. You know? That's why I used that picture of Lazarus on the screen, but they got him looking like an Edomite. But he was here, you got that one of the dogs licking on him, that's like the other nations trying to get a piece of you, man. You know? Just like all the other nations that we were held captive of. You know, they wanted to hold us captive because of who we are. You know? It says, let me read this again, verse 22, Sirach 13:22. It says, when the rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken. So they can say whatever the hell they want. And everybody, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that guy, yeah, he's smart, he's wise. He went to this college, the top Ivy League schools, and he knows what he's talking about. He's a well man, 3-piece suit on, but he don't know shit. You know? Because when you go to these schools, what they do, they teach you their wisdom and just how to be a better slave, right? Check this out. It says, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. That's crazy. It says, the poor man slippeth, and yet they rebuked him too. He spake wisely and could have no place. Damn. So the poor man speaking wisely, but yet he don't have no place. We don't got no place here, man. You know? All these different, like, it's crazy because I'm telling everybody since I came into this truth, and I've been watching the apostles, and when I first came, I just watched them like in awe, like, oh my God. Like these dudes, like they got the wisdom, man. All these Christians came up to them and everything. They just boom, 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 flowing through the spirit. And I'm like, man, I want to be like that. But they was answering questions that I had my whole life. I'm like, damn, the church can't answer that. I said, but these men is on the corner speaking wisdom. And you understood it. And everybody, they got confounded, went like, come up with that, and they leave like the dog come barking like, and the motherfucker, another bigger one comes, he leaves with his tail between his legs, whimpering. Yeah, that's them. That's how they left. They came up with that and left whimpering, man. You know, that's the knowledge and power of Yahweh Hashem Shah that he gives to us, man. But the people hate it. Right? Check it out. It says, where we at? I think all right, we're in 23. It says, when the rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his, hold up. Yeah, No, yeah, yeah. It says, when the rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. That's how high they put these people up, man. Their words. Look at these preachers, man. I got my bachelor's, my doctorate, and this, but you don't know shit. You don't know your nationality. You don't know your history. You just know what you was taught in that school. You got a bachelor's in. I got a degree in chemical science. Come on, man. That's foolishness, man. When the Lord already designed his people, that's wise. He gave them that knowledge, man. But we're in a poor state, so what? Our words are not heard, man. But the Lord is going to make, man, you're going to recognize, man, sooner or later. But it says, when the rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. You know, if he stumble, they try to overthrow him. Like, man, we can't wait for this nigga to fall. You know, and that's what they waiting right now for the men of the Lord, man. All right. It says, riches are good unto him that hath no sin, and poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly. Basically, that's it, man. Because we pretty much hit the point of 23, man. They try to overthrow you, talk crazy about you, because your wisdom is despised, man. All right. So let's go ahead to Psalms 34 and 6. But guess who loves the poor? All right. Guess who got the poorest back, man? The poorest people. You know? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Bashim Rakhakodash. Psalms 34 and 6. One of my favorite. I remember the brother Kodash sent me this scripture one time, you know, going through it. And the brother sent this to me, brought tears to my eyes. I said, damn, it was right on point. But this is Psalms 34 and 6, because everybody, they want to put the poor man down, this, that. It says, this poor man cried, and Yahweh heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. Read that again. This poor man cried, and Yahweh heard him and saved him out of all his troubles, man. So it's trusting Yahweh Bashim outside, Bashim Rakhakodash, man. All right. The hell with Esau to stop. Don't try running him for nothing. Well, you gotta go to him for jobs and stuff like that. But I'm talking about as far as like when these up and coming times, they coming to bring the hammer down. All right. It's like ICE. So I want to do someone now. I'll mention it though. But they just ran into a church, man. That's crazy. They was in there serving JC. Where JC was at? ICE ran in that joint. This is God damn. This place is getting crazy and crazy because it's falling. You know, but guess where they heard it first? Through the poor man's mouth, man. All right. They heard everything through the poor man's mouth. The faithful, poor, wise man. All right, I say it like that. The faithful, poor, wise man, he heard it out of his mouth. And look how this place is falling. Just from those words. Because these words are powerful, man. These words is wisdom. All right. With the words form the words. The Lord's words form the worlds, man. All right. So this is Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. I'm gonna end it on this one. It says, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding, man. All right. And for that, you're going to be despised. You know, you're going to be despised for that. And all the wisdom, I said, the title says, the poor man's wisdom is despised here, man. It's despised. All right. So Lord's willing, that was edifying. You got something out of it. So the next lesson, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Arachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, taught us his truth. Honors and salutations to the elect. So next lesson, I'm saying Mawafa Baba Ball and Kwam Yasharala. Shalom. We almost out of here.